It's time for another deck profile. What's going on, guys? Got obviously another deck profile to show you. Today I want to show off my Shinobirds, and I have them mixed in with some Kaijus, just for the lulz and trolls. It actually works out pretty well in this deck, and overall I really like how this deck runs and plays and how its just consistency is overall. I hope it'll be really good once the Link format comes out. I believe in August or September, right around that time frame. But the deck's okay right now. It wins and loses a lot, but overall it's still really fun. I really love it. We'll start off with the main ritual monsters. This deck runs around spirits, and the ritual monsters are spirits also, which is very interesting, so they will bounce back during the end phase. But Baron, when you ritual summon him, you can bounce 3 of your opponent's monsters back to the hand, and it doesn't target. And then once you do that, you can bring out a spirit from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. And then for the Baroness over here, the female, when you ritual summon her, you can spin up to 3 spell and trap cards your opponent controls. Really good at getting rid of scales. And once you do that, you can special summon a spirit from your deck, which I really like. Although I only play her 2, because Baron is the stronger person with 3K. She's at 25. But I will definitely side in the third one, especially with like Paleozoics and just other stuff like that running around. But yeah, just 3 and 2. They're also good trade-in targets, and you'll see why that is later. But when they bounce back to hand, you can bring out 2 tokens essentially, and they're both Wing Beast type, and they have 1500 attack and defense both ways, and that'll help later when you combo them with some other cards, and you'll see that later on in the video. But as for the other Shinobirds, I play 2 Crane. It's the only other Shinobird we play because Shinobird's not that great overall, but when you mix them in with other stuff, they can be. Crane's really fun because when you bring out another spirit while he's on the field, you can draw a card. And so if you have 2, essentially you could draw 2. And just him being 1500 both ways is really good. And when you get other stuff on the field, you can doubly boost him up, and you'll see that later. We play 2 Eradima, some of the general spirits, and of course the 2 Nikotama. Eradima, when you normal it, it'll search any spirit, which is awesome because it can search Nikotama, it can search Crane, it can even search your ritual monsters, so you don't really need to go digging for them too much. And Nikotama gives you an extra summon, and then if it's sent to the graveyard while you control a spirit, you can draw a card, and that's not once per turn, so if you send multiple, you can draw a lot. The last spirit I play is this Hebu, Lord of the River. He's kind of a tech card, I guess, but he's okay in a sense, but he is 1800 attack, which is really nice, so he can get over some stuff. And if you set him, or when you normal him, you can target one face-up monster on the field and treat it as a spirit, so it'll bounce back during the end phase. So sometimes if you're kind of like stuck in a pickle, you can set him, and if your opponent runs into him, you can bounce back that monster during the end phase. And that's all the spirits we play for this deck. Obviously, to search out your rituals, we're going to have to run some Manju, and that's not a problem in this deck. Manju is just a great card to have, being that you can search the ritual Baron, Baronesses, or their ritual spells to bring them out. And as for the Kaijus, we don't really care what their effects are. We just play them because not only can they sack an opponent's monster, but all of them here are level 8. So you can do more trade-in plays because the rituals are also level 8. And you can bounce these back to your hands with Baron. So you can reuse them over and over again. And I really like this lineup of 2 Godarla, 2 Gamacell, and 1 Dagoron. I like the 5 and 5 combo. It's alright. It runs pretty well overall. And like I said, we don't really use the Kaijus for their effects. We just use them as clearing the board and just to bounce back. Just like I said for the Trolls and Rolls earlier. As for the spells, we play 3 Shinobird Calling. Excellent field spell. Ritual spell. Excuse me. Because not only can you tribute monsters from your hand or field, but you can also banish spirits from the graveyard. So if you wanted to bring out a Baroness and you had a Baron in the graveyard, you could banish it and you could bring it out. And what's great is you can search this card with pre-prep, and we'll get to that in just a sec. As for the other Shinobird spell, we play 2 Power Spot. Power Spot is a really good card. I would play it at 3, but 2's kind of where I like it at. And essentially what it does is all spirits will stack, they'll just gain 500 attack and defense. So that's pretty good. It'll make your Hebu go over 2,000. It'll make your Cranes 2,000. And it'll really put your rituals on huge, huge beaters. And then if a face-up wind monster you control returns to their hand, Essentially, it's like Crane of the Rituals, so that's kind of why we played it too. You can not only search any spirit, but you can also search a ritual spell card. So every time that does that, you can do one of those things. That's why I really like this card, and it's just a fun card overall. 3, pre-prep to search out your Shinobird Calling and either ritual. 3, trade-in because you play a bunch of level 8s, and the rituals are level 8s, and it doesn't really matter if they're in the graveyard so much, so yeah, 3 trade-ins really good. 2, slumber. The banlist didn't really touch upon this deck too much. I was waiting for the banlist to profile this deck. I had 2 Maxes in it, and I believe I might have had 3 slumbers, maybe 2, so I had to adjust this a little bit. But slumber's really good, you can clear the board, and it's just a really good card overall. And then last for the spells is just 2 MST. I would play Twin Twister. It's a better card, I believe it is, but you don't really want to ditch so much in this deck to the grave. Yeah, you can put your rituals in there, but the less you have to do, the better. And your rituals can either spin back row, or they can bounce monsters, although it's not really relative to MST, obviously. But being that Baroness can spin spells and traps, that's why I don't really run Twin Twister. This card's just better overall. And that does it for the spells. Let me get those out of the way. As for traps, we play 2 Urgent Ritual Arch. Probably like my favorite card in this deck, because this essentially lets you ritual summon on your opponent's turn. And what's great is when they enter the battle phase, since you won't control any ritual monsters because they'll be in your hand, you can banish a ritual spell from your hand or graveyard, and this essentially becomes the ritual summon. And then if you typically summon the Baron or Baroness, you'll have those 2 tokens from earlier, and then you can obviously get their effects. So if your opponent goes into the battle phase and has a bunch of monsters and tries to swing at you, you can just activate this, get rid of your tokens, bring out Baron, just bounce the monsters, and just completely troll them. So the card's really good in that sense. As for the other traps, play 2 Harpy's Featherstorm. I had this at 1, but it's such a good card. I had to bump this up to 2. Essentially, if you control a winged beast type monster, even the tokens, you can activate this, and until the end phase of that turn, you negate any monster effect your opponent activates. So it's just a really good card at locking out monster effects, and typically it'll never be a dead card. And hopefully one day if Harpy's Feather Duster comes off the ban list, this card will be good, because if it is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can search Harpy's Feather Duster from deck to grave. But I digress, I don't think the card will ever come out. Last but not least, we just play 1 Warning. It's Warning. I like the card. Obviously, can't really go wrong without it. I try not to play it too much in all my decks. Strike is probably the better card, but Warning just gets the job done. As for the extra deck, it's kind of up to you about what you want to play. Chidori's an okay target to go into. Emerald's probably the best rank 4 if you don't need to push for game, because you can really recycle stuff with Emerald. Ashfather rank 4 is a Roach, Diamond Dyer, 101, and then what I go into a lot is usually Samurai, just because you can poke twice with it. 1 Castell, 1 Cowboy to push for game. Dweller, I think Dweller's gonna be good or will be good. I just think Dweller's always been good, and I just can't leave home without it. 1 King Crab just for a 3000 beat stick, and that does it for the rank 4s. You don't really make too many rank 8s, but 1 Lancelot, 1 Hope, 1 Felgren, and 1 Seacaster. These are just the rank 8s I play. It doesn't really matter, the rank 8s, and of course 1 Scarlight to round off the extra deck. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Until next time, this is Rage Snail signing out. Peace!